Ladies and gentlemen, this is the issue 3, page 29, director's commentary. I'm Keenan Lafferty.
My name is Colton Kresser.
And what are we doing today?
We're going to talk about some things, very good things, new things, fresh things.
Talking about some things over again. Fresh things all over again.
Because we recorded this with no audio.
We recorded this entire thing, and then the audio got corrupted at the very end, which was awesome.
At the very end.
But
it's
that will not dissuade us.
It's 1 a.m., but we don't care.
That will not dissuade us. We are going to get this director's commentary out.
So let's jump right into it.
Yeah, let's get right to it.
Some of you may be familiar with this page.
Yes.
Looks very nice, doesn't it? Eloquent, elegant, fantastic.
But it doesn't start this way.
Fabulous. It does not start this way.
It starts like this. And then it got changed up quite a bit.
Yeah, I mean, this, oh yeah, that doesn't even look like the same page. Basically, it's not.
I'm literally going to have to burp. Hang on. I muted it, so.
Yeah, you good?
Yeah. All right, so I literally just finished this root
We
beer.
finished our
This
cream
cream
sodas.
soda, so yeah.
So,
yes.
super good.
It starts like this.
Highly recommended for artists of all sorts.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
The sugar keeps you going.
page starts like this.
Yeah, it was just going to be Clem up here, then Nico and Emma in the crowd. And yeah, it was really interesting how much we changed it up.
Yeah, it was going to be like, it was the idea was the same. The delivery was different, if that makes sense. It was like, okay, this is the idea, the feel we want to put on the page. Like the same panel of Tank sitting at the table, Clem pointing. Like everything is still there.
Mm-hmm.
Just got moved around. A little bit, changed up a little bit.
So we ended up doing this.
Mm-hmm.
Changing it up to be more like this.
Yes, definitely. And I like this a little better. And this is mostly Keenan's doing because
I just like this new pose. The new pose really did it for me.
I was really on board for like everything, like everything that we'd already planned. And then Keenan was like, well, what if maybe we, instead of drawing like just this, maybe we move this one up here and did this. And I was like, yeah, that'd be cool if he was like a rock star or something like that, and standing up there like a rock star. And he's like, yeah. And then when we moved that, I was like, oh, where are we going to move all these other ones? What are we going to do with these ones? And I was like, okay, let's move these here. Yeah. And it came out perfect. It was like the easiest overhaul, I think, especially because, like I said, the idea was still there, just the way it was conveyed.
We just changed it up.
Was different.
One thing that I wanted to talk about that I didn't get a chance to last time, which might be just why we had to reshoot this entire thing,
right,
was because I realized that something that I'm really starting to enjoy doing is this whole idea of like establishing a shot, like a small character in a panel, and then zooming in like really close on him, like this, right, with Clem and then Clem here, and then the same thing happened right here.
Tank
small
is really
panel,
like small.
Tank's way out here, and then we zoom in on that, and then we see all the
detail and everything.
Yeah, I've really actually been enjoying doing that type of thing, and I think it's something that I want to do some more.
Right.
Obviously when the time calls for it, but I just think it's so cool to have that dynamic. It just gives it like that punch. So it's like you're like looking and then it just like zooms in, right? Like a CSI,
see the next one,
CSI Miami. Zoom something and then it becomes more clear magically somehow. I don't know how they do it, but
I can tell you.
But it makes you feel like actiony, right? It feels a lot cooler.
Right.
So
it was that Clem originally in the top left started out with his right hand with the microphone, and then we had to switch it because it didn't make sense.
I imagine maybe he's like
he's like throwing it around or whatever.
Yeah. But I was like, nah, let's just be consistent.
He was like, hey, I switched this, and I was like, why? And he's like, because for the sake of consistency. I guess he's like holding it in a different hand. I was like,
And speaking of consistency,
yes,
when I was drawing this Clem, I realized something. And that was that there just wasn't enough character in it.
Just like, really not like boring, but
for who Clem was, like this was okay, right? I was like messing around with the eyebrows, trying to figure out how to make his eyes
more
look right,
give
his get his character across. And then I realized at the end when I went on a break, I was like, you know what? I just think I need to redo this entire thing.
Right.
And I was kind of sitting there, I was like, I don't know if I should. Like,
I can just deal with it.
Yeah, I'll just deal with it. Nobody's gonna care. But then I thought about it. I was like, you know what? No, I'm just going to do a quick little 15-minute sketch. And if I can get something in that, then I'm going to commit to it. Right. And then I just did it. Like
lo and behold.
Yeah, lo and behold, I did it. And I saw it. Like, I saw it in my mind. I was like, his head's kind of like cocked to the side and he's got the mic up.
Right.
And and it just gets so much more character across, and
definitely,
that's
especially
really what
with
it's all
him,
about.
especially with him walking out, like throwing his hand up in the air, like
Yeah, he's like, whoa, ladies and gentlemen,
like,
and then he's like, yeah, I'd like to
it's just like really.
I'd like to recognize somebody,
It's like that's obviously not Clem's character like at all, and it was one of those things where even though it was him, it was like, okay, is this believable? Like non-believable? Like what's the deal? You know what's going on? And
I decided it's worth the extra time. It's worth the extra time, and it's my freaking comic, right?
Right.
It's like I need to be satisfied with it,
right. Instead of being like, oh, you know, everyone else.
Like it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if nobody else will notice. I'll notice,
right?
And that's who I'm doing this for. You know, I have to like it. So I was like, all right, we're going back. We're redoing it.
And it didn't even take that long, right? It took you.
It didn't take that long. Yeah.
Yeah, you said 15 minutes to get.
I spent more time. I spent more time complaining about it than I actually took to sit
debating
down
and complaining.
debating, going back and forth. Is it worth doing it? You know, is it worth not? I could have done 5 of them by then, but
let's get your work done.
So yeah, let's talk about Plank because I love Plank.
Talk about him a little early.
Let's talk about him early. We did it at the end. But
we talked about it at the end last time. But Plank is, if you guys recognize his face, Plank is actually Hank's best friend, the guy that switched out for guard duty on Emma and Nico that passed out
in the hall. Yeah,
in the hall. This is what he's doing now. When he was like, "All right, later, buddy," you know, like I'll see you later. This is what he's doing. Is he's hanging out with Tank, you know, like getting all hype and psyched about it. Like, yeah, I'm hanging out with Tank, man. Yeah. Like, oh man, wish Hank could see this, you know.
You know, but like something that we touched on at the very end of the last recording was. It's so cool to, because originally it was just gonna be like a guy, right? He's like there.
Yeah, it was just like
I know,
because we wrote. I actually think we maybe might have even wrote the joke either right before we did that page or right as we were doing like the page where they switch. So it didn't even cross our minds to have Plank be that guy, right? Yeah. We were like, it's just some guy being like,
some guy.
I know him, you know. And then we were like, wouldn't that be funny if it was like Plank, like you know? And then we put it in and it just made it. I thought it made it way more funny because, you know, obviously he switched out guard duty for this, you know, and stuff. And he's like acting all hardcore in front of Hank. He's like, all right, like later, man, later, dude. You know, and I was here and he's like, you know, he's like having like a good time, you know. But little does he know is that those kids he's supposed to be like watching are there too.
Yeah. No, but what we were talking about last time that I really liked was sort of like, when you take a character from earlier in the comic and then you see them later doing what they said that they were going to do, and even though it's just like kind of in the side thing, it like tricks you subliminally into thinking that these characters are actually existing.
Yeah, instead of it
within this universe, in this story, they're actually living.
Yeah, instead of it being like, it's just some guy or whatever. Or it's just like, hey, you know, Plank is here somewhere. He's around here somewhere. It's like no, like he's here. He's interacting with other characters. You know, I thought that was cool. Like characters interacting with other characters inside the same universe that aren't like right next to each other. It's like, you know, it makes sense for Clem and Tank to interact with each other because they've been standing next to each other since the beginning. But it's like, you know, you've never seen Plank like, you know, meet up with or talk to Tank before. So it's like when he goes and says, I'm going to the party, like that's what he's doing. You know, he's going to hang out with his friends, and you know, and it's like, you know, Tank just happens to be one of his friends, like, you know.
Yeah, that was really cool.
So I think that was really cool.
Yeah, I was really happy with how the girl turned out next to Tank too. And I was thinking that, you know, maybe people are gonna think, is that like his girlfriend or something?
Yeah,
or who is she, right? But she was really, I don't know. I was kind of bummed.
She's nonchalantly kind of like sitting.
She's just kind of like that girl, right? She's just like a girl that likes him because Tank is like a celebrity. We wanted him to be like a celebrity.
He's definitely a celebrity. He's more like not necessarily like with the Marauders. With the Marauders, it's more like it's just he's our leader. Like, you know, he kind of leads us, and I mean they still think he's cool, but like back on the ship, you know, he's like celebrity status. Like he keeps us alive.
He's got all got all like these friends and these girls like looking at him and. Yeah, he's definitely like a big shot on the ship, which I really liked. And it was something that I wanted to play up since the beginning of the comic.
That he was like kind of like a big deal.
That like people saw him as like a celebrity or whatever. Like he'd like smash some zombie's head in and like with a baseball bat and like throw it, and then someone would like go pick it up. Yeah,
someone like run over like in Kung Fu Panda.
Yeah, exactly.
Like in Kung Fu Panda when Tigress like kicks those two pieces of cement and like he like reaches out and like grabs one of the
like somebody would do that.
Yeah, like grabs one of the things, like, you know, he like breaks up, like he picks up the baseball bat and like holds it behind him.
Yeah. I want to talk a little bit about this dynamic shading that I was doing here too, and like kind of why I decided to go for this. In fact, I'll actually just pull it up here.
Pull the page.
But actually, the entire lighting scheme changed from the beginning.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because originally I was just planning on it being the same old, ballroom.
Completely
Everything's
original,
full,
like lit.
Full lit, full lights on, everything. And then I thought about it, like right before I started sitting down to do the colors, I thought, oh man, Clem's up on stage and he's got like this rock star thing going on. Like that would be so much more dramatic if all the lights went down and this spotlight was just right on him.
Right.
And I was like, no, but to do that, I'd have to come up with a whole nother color scheme, and I'd have to redo all, the things and new backgrounds, and, I was like, is it really worth it? Is it really worth it? And I was like, yeah, you know what? It freaking is.
I thought it was cool because
I was considering not doing it.
It completely, it works this way, it disrupts the flow of the last page. Like, the last page was super lit and, pink and kind of warm feeling, Emma
really bright.
Yeah, Emma catches herself on Nico and it's like, oh, that's super tender, and then all of a sudden there's just rock star fireworks and yeah, ladies and gentlemen, kind of one of those. So it definitely interrupts them.
Yeah, and I really like the way that the reflected light kind of
plays off their faces.
Yeah, treatment looked on Emma and Nico. It looked really cool here. I was really happy about that.
Definitely. Yeah, I'm super glad you did the spotlight for sure, because it was a super nice touch. And it made it, like you said earlier, it made it easier for directing the reader around the page. It's because the spotlight...
A lot of stuff is happening here.
Yeah.
And so we use the spotlight as a tool to point us over to Tank and, his friends over there. Because if we hadn't done it, it wouldn't have been as clear.
Yeah. You'd be like, oh, is that them? Oh, wait, they're actually there? He's not just pointing into, the space or anything like that.
Yeah.
That was really cool. I mean, using it as a tool was cool.
It was really cool. It was so cool.
It was so awesome.
But yeah, it was fun just playing up, the dramatic spotlighting as well as, the reflected light happening on the characters. Because I wanted it to look like... with these cast shadows and stuff going on, but I didn't want it to look too realistic, right? Because I like the colors to be effective but simple.
Right.
And I don't want to have to do cast shadows on every single thing.
Yeah.
But I think it was totally fine in this case for Clem because we're really close on him, right? So
yeah, the spotlight is right on his face.
Yeah, naturally the closer you get to something, I figure in a comic, the more detail you're gonna see.
Right. Absolutely.
So you're right up on Clem's face, so you're going to see all of the detail and shadows in his face, which is actually kind of nice because I'm probably
he's got a nice detailed face, as opposed to being out in the sunlight, kind of washed out or flat, but now it's get really those hard shadows on his nose and under his chin and things like that,
Yeah,
really cool.
And you can do that and still get away with it if it's close to you, if it's a big part of the page.
Definitely.
So yeah, so let's talk about some dialogue.
Dialogue is weird for me now because it's becoming obnoxiously easy. It's so easy. It's almost what is this it?
That's a great idea. What if we just do the dialogue right at the beginning?
Yeah, why don't, instead of being all right, let's just do the page and then try to make the dialogue work or make it fit or see if it works or see if it fits. It's just why don't we just do it first? Yeah. And then construct and build the page around it, from the bottom up. And it works so much better. And then the flow, you were saying, you think maybe the flow of the actual pages is being more consistent. It's better. It makes more sense.
The last few pages, I keep saying, man, these are flowing so well.
Right.
And it's because we're laying down the dialogue and we're building everything around the dialogue.
So it makes sense. It's not okay, well, if we made this, we can't use this in the dialogue because that doesn't make sense from the last page, and it's not gonna make sense to the next one. We have to compromise and take stuff out that we like, or remove stuff around. Now it's just okay, this is exactly what they will say. Draw around it. See what. And
it really comes in handy because I didn't think it was gonna make that big of a difference, but the subtleties in the words. And I said this before, the subtleties in the words comes through in the subtleties in the face, subtleties in the expressions. And that's just the difference between a good comic and a really, really great comic. Something that I could be really proud of. Because, I don't know, it's really all about subtleties with my art. So, yeah.
Yeah, I'm really glad we started doing it that way too. I didn't think it was not like that it wasn't gonna work. It was just different, you know. It's just different. I'm used to crunch time, you know. It's like we get maybe like a half hour to 40 minutes to like look at the dialogue and like break from it and see if we really like it. Now it's like we get a week up to weeks. Like we got pages on pages on pages that are just done, you know, like not necessarily done, but like sketched out, you know. And it's just the dialogue is there for me to just be like, you know, just friggin' just done,
dealing it out.
yeah, just yeah, just like
with the words,
yeah, slinging out all that dialogue. And it's gonna be super nice too as far as like production goes. Cause it'll be like, well, I don't really know, we're gonna have to talk about this page a little bit, you know, like talk about what it's gonna go. She's like, this is what's gonna happen, draw it, this is what's gonna happen, let's work it out, construction, you know.
Yeah.
And it makes it a lot easier too, because it's like when you have lots of time to think about it and you spend a lot of time like away from the dialogue, at least for me, like writing the story and stuff, when I spend a lot of time away from it, knowing that it's done and I come back to it, it's just so, everything is just so
gives you time to sit on it.
Yeah, it's
really
just
nice.
super fresh, and I come up with ideas that I would have never thought of if it was like crunch time, you know, like, oh, gotta get this done, it's going out tomorrow or tonight or anything like that, you know. It gives me plenty of time to be like, you know what, actually I don't like that, this would be better, you know. And it's a really nice tool, especially being more organized, I guess, in that way, you know.
Yeah. Well, with that, I think we're good. Did you have anything else you wanted to say?
No, I mean, as far as like everything goes, it's just organization, you know. We're becoming better, improving. Pages are coming out great.
That's it. All right, then let's wrap it up. All right, guys, you know how it works. If you want to get free stuff, just click that little button over there. Again, you never have to pledge anything. You don't have to give me a dime of your money.
Absolutely.
The comic is absolutely free. But if you want to get cool stuff, then I'm sending these out to you guys, and you can pay what you want for them. So yeah, consider joining us on Patreon.
Yeah, don't forget to follow and subscribe to YouTube, Facebook, Twitter. Stay updated.
Yep.
We post a lot. So.
Yep. And for those of you on YouTube, thumbs up if you like it, thumbs down if you don't. My name's Keenan Lafferty.
Colton Kresser.
See you next time.